What is up, guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys back after doing my game picks. This time I'm doing my preview, and I'm joined by special guest, fellow Seahawks YouTuber, my man, Brendon Nelson. Brendon, say what's up, man.
Hey, Sam Dog, how's it going? Glad to be here. Glad to be on your show.
Yep, I'm happy to have you on too, man. But now me and Brendon are about to go over our keys to how we can win this game on Thursday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams, who are obviously coming off of being part of the upset of the week against Tampa Bay, and us coming off of a bounce-back win after we got upset by New Orleans. A little bit of a better outcome last time, but one of our first keys, I will mention this, is the way we got to play them. Tampa Bay was able to hit and pressure and force Goff to throw interceptions and make costly mistakes. That will be a big-time key, is we're going to have to blitz a lot with Jadeveon Clowney and Ziggy Ansah and possibly Michael Kendricks a few times on some of those plays. Brendon, take me through your takes on this first key.
Yeah, absolutely. The number one key to this game is going to be the pass rush, because through 4 games, the Rams' offensive line has actually been the worst in the league in pass blocking. They are surrendering pressure on over 22% of their pass plays, which is the worst in football. And individually, everybody on that offensive line is playing poorly in pass blocking, except for Andrew Whitworth. It has regressed dramatically from last year when they had one of the better offensive lines in football. And that is absolutely the place to attack.
Yeah, so we got to attack on the weak points to where Andrew Whitworth can't even be a factor, and that's where we got to plug in Jadeveon Clowney and, wherever Whitworth is, and maybe Quentin Jefferson and Brandon Jackson. But that linebacker blitz last week sure was working pretty good, where Kendricks was coming out like he was firing out of a cannon. Another thing is, in this game, key number 2, we're going to have to play, secondary is going to have to play man coverage on these receivers. Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Woods, who I've always said you got to cover that guy when it's a 3rd and deep, because that's been Goff's most reliable target. But Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp being back is also a big-time threat too. So there's going to be a lot to think about. We also got to look out for possible dump-off passes to Todd Gurley, because we know Gurley, even with the arthritis, can still run too, but he hasn't really been much of a factor. We could still hit Gurley in that backfield too. That would help us out a lot too, but mainly it's the only threat, one of the few threats I see obviously on the offense is the receiving core.
Yeah, that receiving core is one of the best in football, and the scheme also makes them look better than they are. But as for Todd Gurley, I'm actually really curious to see what the Rams do with him, because not only is this a game, this is a short week. He's coming off a short week. He's only had a few days of rest, and he's got that arthritic knee that seems to have really limited his effectiveness even after a full week of rest. So I'm wondering if he's only going to see a handful of snaps, and we might get a heavy dose of Malcolm Brown. And low-key, the Rams' offense has been significantly better this year with Malcolm Brown on the field in the place of Todd Gurley.
What about that guy they drafted out of Memphis? What about that running back? What was his name? Darryl.
I don't know if he's seen the field so much. I know their backup right now is Malcolm Brown, and there has actually been a significant uptick in their offensive production when Malcolm Brown is on the field. And, you know how I feel about running backs. I feel like most running backs in the NFL are replaceable, and you would be surprised at how there's not a huge correlation between the most successful running backs and winning teams. But right now, it just seems like Malcolm Brown better suits what they're trying to do. So I'm looking for Malcolm Brown to maybe get a lot of snaps. And this short week is going to mess with some other things that they're going to do as well. Like Andrew Whitworth, who is their best offensive lineman, is something like 35 or 36 years old.
Yeah.
He's not excited to have to play a football game a few days after playing a game where, by the way, they got pounded, and he had to play like 80 offensive snaps and pass block on about 70 of them because they were doing nothing but passing that whole game. those kinds of little edges in these Thursday night games can absolutely flip things. So I'm looking to, older players and players, especially ones who got beat up in the Sunday game, and wondering what are they going to have left.
Exactly. I mean, but also, it's going to be tough. We got to still be able to adjust coming off, because remember, we're coming into a short week too, coming off of, our Sunday win. But can we, thankfully, this time going into Arizona, we're coming out with no significant injuries like last year when we lost Will Dissly to that patellar tendon, and then when we lost Earl Thomas, that's basically huge. But obviously, can we get adjusted to that short week? I know we're going to be playing at home in front of the 12s, and another more reason to try to hope to win is because we're, adding Paul Allen as the 12th member to the Seahawks Ring of Honor. So the 12s are going to have to be going fired up for this one too. I know I'll be at the game, but in a suite, as I mentioned in my Game Picks videos, because we got upgraded. But 12s are going to have to bring it, but can this offensive line do a better job against Aaron Donald and Clay Matthews on that pass rush? And, of course, they still got Michael Brockers. So we got a lot to look forward to in this matchup this time. How often are we going to be running the ball? How often are we going to be passing? Because we know Marcus Peters, after that pick six, got whacked and put into the concussion protocol and will probably most likely be missing this game. But we got to be able to – their defense goes through Aaron Donald and Clay Matthews. And Matthews is looking pretty good on that Ram defense. I know Matthews getting a little older, but he could still do it. But Justin Britt, he's going to have to smack Aaron Donald right in the mouth. I know that incident that happened last year where Donald grabbed his face mask and all that stuff too, but we have to go out there and we got to double team Donald. We just got to go smack Aaron Donald in the mouth to start off and obviously better protect Russell to get him to throw that deep ball to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. And obviously, our tight ends have been killing it lately too with Dissly, and Luke Wilson that even had a couple good catches last week too.
Yeah, so there's a lot to digest offensively in this game, and for me, I'm looking back at that game we played against Arizona where Chris Carson touched the ball 26 times, and I think he ended up breaking about 21 tackles in that game alone. Mm-hmm. You know that he was hitting the ice tub after that game, and turning around on the short week, you wonder what he's going to have for that game. So I'm really looking at Rashad Penny in this game because he hasn't played in a couple weeks. He's going to be fresh, and he's young.
Penny,
and and Penny had probably the best game of his career against the Rams last year. He had a 55-yard run, had a 20-yard touchdown run, I think it was.
Yep.
So I'm really looking at Rashad Penny for fresh legs and
speed.
As we know, Rashad Penny is an outside runner. Rashad Penny runs to the edges. Chris Carson likes to run up the middle right into a guy like an Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So maybe running away from Aaron Donald, making him tired because he has to chase down plays. I'm really looking to Rashad Penny to maybe get, maybe not a featured back role, but I think he should get a lot of carries in this game. And I think this might be a Rashad Penny kind of game because other than Clay Matthews, those Rams linebackers are not very good.
Penny freaking shook Matthews last year in that game against the Packers on Thursday Night Football. And I like what you mentioned about that. I would like to see Penny get factored in a lot more too, getting some more carries, because I like his speed, and it showed in that game last year and against the Rams, and then he had a freaking good game against Pittsburgh. I just hope that he's 100% for this one. But like you mentioned, I would like to see Penny get factored so we could possibly have that two-headed monster where we have the speed back with agility to out-maneuver the guys. And then, of course, we got the power back with Carson. And hopefully Carson continues to hold on to the ball good like he did last week when he had the 100 yards against the Cardinals and obviously took some hits in the process. So yeah, I like the point you make in that topic right there. I like that point.
Yeah, but the other concern about the short week has to be Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown is something like 34 or 35 years old. He's been in the NFL a long time, and he's already playing through a known injury. He's got a bicep issue, and he has not been the star that he was last year for the Seahawks team so far. Yeah. We've seen him give up some sacks.
Yeah, true.
So this short week could be tough for him, and it's not a great week for him to it's not a great matchup when you're looking at a guy like Clay Matthews lining up on the edges against maybe both him and Effetti. That's a tall task.
True.
Because Clay Matthews has been rejuvenated. Through 4 games, Clay Matthews has 16 quarterback pressures, which is like 6th or 7th in the whole league. Aaron Donald has 18, which is about 4th or 5th. So those two guys, they're still wrecking quarterbacks. Donald has not been putting up the sack numbers that we're used to. He's getting double-teamed more. And I absolutely hope that we have plans to double-team him with Fluker and Britt.
It was a miracle that Effetti didn't get called for any penalties last game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tend to be a little kinder to Effetti than most fans because I feel like last year he was really coming along. And then through 3 games this year, it seemed like he had gone back to all the old bad habits. But I'm still kind of keeping my eye on him. I know this is a contract year for him, and he has to know that these last 12 games are his chance of getting paid. So I am wondering if maybe he can put it together for these last 12 games. Because, you know, that contract, that makes you want to go out there and perform, for sure.
But yeah, reason why teams are starting to double team Donald is because they saw how well the Patriots did it to them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I'm a little worried about what we're going to do on that offensive line. But I think the key is to tire out Aaron Donald, like I said, by running it around the edges to Rashad Penny. As for the passing attack, I don't know if Marcus Peters is going to play or not. Quite frankly, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It seems like Marcus Peters is giving up a 60-yard touchdown in every game he plays.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive. He leads the league in pick sixes since he entered the league, I think. But he also probably leads the league in long touchdown passes given up. He plays that high-risk, high-reward style. And I feel like if he's in this game, especially if he's concussed, but even if he's not, I can absolutely see us hitting some big plays to Lockett and Metcalf, and I would be really eager to see how that matchup plays out.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of happy he's out there.
Yeah, Metcalf was a little quiet last Sunday, so we got to reawaken Metcalf and, just get him going. Maybe if I see him by the tunnel, I'm gonna tell him at least get a couple touchdowns. We gotta get you a few touchdowns in this game, maybe 2 or 3 if he can.
Yeah. And but looking at this game as a whole, if you really step back and take a look at the whole thing, I feel like the number one thing has to be the pass rush because it's getting to the point where the pass rush really should start ramping up. Clowney has been here for a month now. There should be no more rust. There should be no more. He's out of shape from the offseason.
Yep.
Alonzo's in his 3rd game now, so he should be knocking off the rust. We don't have Reed back yet, and that's a big thing.
We got to hold off until we get Reed back, too. But, man, Ansa's pick 6 last week was my play of the week, bar none.
Absolutely. Most players don't even make that play. You have to diagnose the screenplay. You have to put yourself in the right position to make it, and then you have to make it basically a one-handed catch.
Yeah, if you go to my first half video from the game against the Cardinals where I was live, you fast forward to the 25 to the moment on my comment. I put fast forward to the 25-minute mark, and I think it was 45-minute mark in that video. You'll see my crazy reaction to Clowney's house call.
Yeah, and the great thing about Clowney is he seems to create almost every big play that this defense has made so far this year. If you look at Quentin Jefferson's sacks that he's gotten so far, the sack that Kendricks had in the second half against Arizona, he is drawing defensive attention. So even if he doesn't put up the big numbers, you can thank him for a lot of the big plays that the defense has made so far.
Indeed.
And it's exciting because if the pass rush can get to where we think it can go to, because, it's the guys we've already mentioned. Rasheem Green has progressed tremendously this year, in my opinion.
Show me that USC muscle. As I always tell him, show me that USC muscle.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with what he's doing. Once we get Reed back, we're going to be able to start continuously pressuring quarterbacks, and I really think that's going to enable somebody like a Shaquille Griffin to start turning those great plays into interceptions.
True.
Because he's playing the ball this year.
He's playing lights out.
getting pressure and forcing inaccurate passes.
Those will turn to interceptions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the main things this team needs. We haven't been hawking the ball lately. We have two interceptions this year. One of them was off a drop pass, and one of them was the Clowney one.
Yeah, McDougal was the first one off of Dante Moncrief, who Steeler fans won out.
Oh, yeah, and he should be out or on IR because his finger's all messed up. But, yeah, and as Seahawks fans, we watched the Legion of Boom for all those years get interceptions left and right like it was nothing. And now these last couple of years, we've had to adjust to this secondary that just doesn't go after the ball the same way. The last, I want to say, 16 games, it seems like we're just not getting interceptions. And I think this could be the year, this could be the motivating factor behind that changing. And once you disrupt Jared Goff, he's going to start making mistakes.
Yep.
What makes Jared Goff great, the reason why they gave Jared Goff that big extension was his arm talent, and he has tremendous arm talent. I've seen him make some tremendous throws, but once the play breaks down a little bit, you see the stuff. Like there was this great play against Tampa Bay where the middle linebacker and the safety were standing next to each other before the snap, and it looked like the linebacker was going to blitz and the safety was going to cover a zone. But at the snap, the safety blitzed, so Goff thought, oh, I got this open zone. I can hit my receiver where that safety blitzed from. What he didn't see was the linebacker dropping back into the zone where the safety was, so he threw it right to the linebacker. So if you can take him off of, his plan, it just seems like he's just going to give you the ball. And last year we struggled to really get to him in that way. And this year I feel like if we need to be able to do it if we're as good as
we have to.
Are.
If we want to take advantage in the NFC West, this is the game where we have to do it, especially when you're at home in front of all the 12s. And also, another player who's also been balling out this year for us, I have to say, is KJ Wright. KJ Wright's had a couple of great games. Even in the disappointing loss against the Saints, he was balling out, and he's been doing great lately, too. I think we could possibly see contributions from him in this game, but also Bobby Wagner is going to have to keep on being Bobby Wagner. But like you mentioned, we pressure Goff, make him make those mistakes. That's where we'll win the battle.
Yeah, I think that is the key right then and there. We've clearly seen Jared Goff is the kind of quarterback who will turn it over 3 or 4 times if you motivate him to do so. And that can make all the difference in this game. It might not be the biggest offensive display from the Seahawks. It's a tough defensive matchup for us with Aaron Donald and Clay Matthews. And, I'll even throw Wade Phillips in there because I've always liked Wade and his schemes.
Yep.
But we force those turnovers, get those short fields, and I think we're going to be good. I feel pretty good about this game, I would say.
Let's not forget also in their secondary, they got another former Husky and Taylor Rapp playing safety.
Yeah, although he hurt his ankle. I don't know if he's going to be playing. It is a short week, so we're going to find out about that. I think he was in a walking boot a couple days ago.
Yeah. Is Weddle hurt too?
I'm sorry?
Is Weddle hurt too?
I don't think he's out. I believe he's out there. It is kind of interesting how the Rams have picked up these very old veterans who looked washed up and they look rejuvenated. Like Clay Matthews, I thought he was done like 2 years ago, and he goes to another team and suddenly he's
rejuvenated.
Quarterback.
And then I think also playing in the Coliseum again for him might have an effect. But let's also not forget another key player that we also forgot to mention in that Rams pass rush, though, Dante Fowler. We got to look out for him, too, because he had that strip sack on Russell last year. So it's Donald and Fowler and Matthews we're going to have to look out for again, though, too. And Fowler can factor a game, too, for that Rams defense. So
it's a big challenge for our tackles that have kind of disappointed so far this year. It's understandable with Dwayne Brown because he's playing through an injury, but I would say that the tackle play we've seen through 4 games has been below the standard that they set last year.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get any easier. Every team has a good pass rusher.
Yeah, Solari's got to wake him up, but I'll tell you what, though, when we go into 2020, we're going to have to definitely look for some, key factors for this next draft would have to be, in my opinion, secondary pass rush and offensive line. We still got to make those three factors happen in the draft too. But I know we're still in the middle of the season, but those are just some of the things I like to point out when we need to have certain things fixed.
Absolutely. I love to look ahead. There's no need to really think about the draft right now, though, because we're still playing pretty well and we're 3-1. But yeah, and you wonder, are we going to keep Clowney? Are we going to keep Reed? If we let those guys go, that's a huge hole to fill. If we let those two guys go, the best pass rusher on the team might be Quentin Jefferson, followed by Rasheem Green. So yeah, absolutely, the pass rush is a concern. We might have a needed safety depending on how Delano Hill finishes this season. By the way, this is absolutely the kind of game where Delano Hill or Tedrick Thompson, whoever gets the start,
Make or break.
Get picked on. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch.
What about Marquise Blair? You've seen me mention it in your live streams that I kind of want to see Marquise Blair finally get a chance to play free safety.
Yeah, I definitely do as well. I think that it would also allow Bradley McDougald to move to strong safety, which he seems to prefer. So I would like to see that, but the fact that it seems like he's not even being put on the table, it's like there's either something physically not there or mentally not there. Either he's got a little injury and they don't want to put him out there, or maybe he's not picking up the defense as fast as some of the other players, which kind of surprises me. He seemed pretty heady coming out of the draft. But it's just surprising to me that he's not even getting a chance on this defense.
Yeah, I know.
I've expressed some concerns about him playing strong safety because of his size, but it seems perfectly fine for a free safety. And yeah, I would like to see him get a chance out there. The only thing is, if we put him out there, he is going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
he's a rookie, and we are going to have to live with that. I think he's going to make some plays as well, which Tedrick Thompson and Delano Hill do not make any plays ever. Mm-hmm. So it might be worth it, but yeah, I would love to see Marquise Blair out there at some point.
It's
maybe this
Marquise.
my bad, Marquise Blair. But this might not be the game for it. This is the kind of game where a Sean McVay could see that and just pick on him over and over and over again.
True. Well, did we get everything out that we needed to say?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that covers the keys. The number one key by far is getting pass rush on Goff. And then on offense, I think we need to use Penny to run to the outsides and make Donald expend his energy.
And then, of course, protect Russell to hit some deep balls to Lockett and Metcalf.
Yeah, always. I mean, that's always the key. We got the best. Right now, Russell Wilson's probably the best deep ball thrower in football.
He is.
We got to use that more often.
And then also, Will Dissly's looking like he's the best tight end for us right now in our system.
Yeah, and I've said this a few times. I watched every game he played in college. I didn't see this coming at all.
None of us did. Whew.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that sums about everything. Everybody, make sure to subscribe to Brendon Nelson on his YouTube channel. How many subscribers you at so far now?
590, I think.
All right, because I was at 595, so let's get both of us up to 600. You're going to expect to see more collaborations of me and Brendon doing some keys to the games and maybe some thoughts on certain games later on too. But I'm happy we were finally able to link up and do this, man. I've been watching you for a while, and I'm just happy we're finally able to link up and do this.
All right, man. I will see you soon.
All right.
Yeah, let's definitely do this again.
And as I always say at the end of my videos, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.